All right, I'm back in my shop in the heat, making more nightstands slash end tables, however they want to be used. Um, this is them right here. They've been pretty much requested. Been getting a lot of orders for these. They're 18 by 18, about 30 tall, maybe 23 tall. 23 tall, I'm assuming. I made some of these things, I can't remember. But this is made out of 2 by 6 here on the tops. 2 by 6, and I've got them, cut the length to the top area. This stained in Jacobine stain with like 5 coats of stain on it. These here are slats. They're 1 by 4s, cut the length, and they're also stained in Jacobine. And I got my post here. They're like almost like 2 by 2s, maybe 1.5. On all sides. These are the thinner type, the farmhouse tables. Usually I make the thicker ones, but these are smaller type that seem to be taking off right now pretty good. I make these out of 2 by 4s. You can buy them in the store like this, but I don't have good luck with getting the little 2 by 2s. You get a stack of them of like 6 or 8 in a stack in a bundle, and I don't ever have good luck with them because every time you unstrap them, a few days later they're all like a question mark, so they're pretty crooked. So what I do is I get a 2 by 4, cut them to length. On my miter saw, this is one of the ones I use, the popular pine wood. It's just a regular 2 by 4. I go ahead and cut it to length of the legs and the length of the supports, and then I come over to my skill saw and I run. I've got a master copy is what I call it for my nightstand legs. This is a one that's cut to length, and I use it to place on the saw, so I know exactly where I'm cutting these at. So I can get 8 legs out of one 2 by 4. So it's pretty convenient to cut them like that. So just buy them in the store because at least I know they're going to be straight when I cut them, compared to the stacks of them at Lowe's or Home Depot that you got to pick through them like an Easter egg hunt. If I come over here, these are the supports that go across the bottom and the top, and they're already cut to size, cut the length, and they're sanded. I sand them with a 60 grit, then I turn around and sand them with a 120 grit. So now they are smooth as can be, nicely smooth, nicely cut. These are the supports that go across the bottom and across the top. I do the same thing with the legs right here. I take these and sand them with a 60 grit, then a 120 grit, and then I round off the sides here, because if you don't, they'll be kind of sharp. So might cut yourself on it if you rub your hand up and down the leg of it for some reason. But I go ahead and round off the corners, but they're good and smooth. All the legs are made here, so it's like a puzzle now. So what I do is I go ahead and I put the frame together. Then I'll probably go ahead and prime it, and then I'll go ahead and paint it. And which I'm painting them in, I keep looking for somebody. Which I'm painting them in an off cream color white. Usually I paint them white, but this time I'm gonna try a new color, and it seems to be picking up pretty well. So just for a change of pace. But next thing I'll do after I get the frames put together is I'll take my 2 by 6s. This is one of them right here, and then I'll cut them to length. It's 18 by 18 square, so a lot of times I put them like maybe 4 together, and I end up having to rip them down on each side to make them fit the table correctly. I'll run these through my joiner. I run these through my planer after they're cut. And I'll joint the sides too to make them fit better. And if I need to, I'll rip down the edges of the round over. But after I run them through the planer, I go ahead and sand them with 60 grit, and then 120 grit. Then I pocket holes the sides, and then I piece them together, clamp them, screw the pocket holes in, and then I've got my top. And usually I go ahead and I sand it again with 120 grit. Go ahead and sand over the whole thing again just to smooth it out where the edges join, and then I can get my joints flush the way they're supposed to be. So after that, of course, I pre-stain the top, and then I stain it with Jacobine, and then I'll run wait 24 hours, and I'll run the polyurethane, about 5 coats of that over, sanding in between each coat, and then pretty much put 5 coats of the polyurethane on there. And then of course I what I'll do then is this is got a little dusty back here. I'm going to dust this off because the customer's coming to get it. But I go ahead and lay the top on this upside down. And I put the frame upside down and screw it underneath, so the holes will be shown on the top. Screw it underneath with 2-inch screws to connect to the top. And the bottom is just it's not pocket hole or anything, but I lay these in place once the frame's built. First I stain them all so I can stain between the cracks. It'd be easier if I've got them one by one. And then I lay them in place and brad nail them down. And I have to cut the piece of the corners here. Brad nail them all down. Then I'll patch the brad nail holes with putty that matches the stain. You can buy all kind of putties that match stain. They're just butted all together, and then I brad nail them down, and then I do the same process of staining and sanding and polyurethane on the bottom, and then it's complete. But they're pretty hot items, so I'm going to build quite a few of them. I've got orders coming in, so I'm just going to start building a bunch of them because they don't take. I take about 2.5 hours to build. The painting and staining is the longest part of it, but back to work.